Okay, so this session is now being recorded. So I'm just trying to check the Slack. So our Slack is very active. All of you guys are very active in our Slack discussion. So yeah, that's good. If you have any question, just post it in our Slack. Harry is always responsive in our Slack conversation. And who among here are from Learning Group 4? Anyone here from Learning Group 4? Oh, Omar, that's great. So I have one member here. Oh, two now, Stephen. Okay, that's great. So we'll start. Let me just try to answer some of your, the most the hot topic in our Slack conversation, like lab journal, the VM. So I'll just discuss this first while we're waiting for Harry. I think Harry has his own, things to discuss today. But before, while we're waiting for him, let's just discuss about our lab journal. Okay. So let me just share my Slack. Let me check if I can share the Slack here. So for learning group 4, I will be the one checking your assignments. So let me try to go to our Slack. So sometimes it crashes whenever I share an application, but let's see. Can you see the window? My Slack window? Okay, great. So let's start first with lab journal because there are so many questions about this lab journal. Okay. Let me just check if I can see the lab journal here. Hold on. How can I share this? Hold on, let me just share something. Can you see it now? The lab journal. Cannot see your, let me check your post. Oh, okay, hold on, let me try again. Okay, I cannot share it. But anyway, let's just discuss this. Okay, so lab journal. What is a lab journal? This is actually like a notebook, but we are going to submit it electronically. So you know where to find the lab journal. It's on the left panel of your Canva. There is assignment 2, right? Can you see that on the left panel? So it will give you a lot of description of what is this all about. So I'm just going to shorten it. Okay, so every week you have a lab. So all you need to do is just to record all the steps that you did in the lab. Not really all, but it's like taking down notes while doing the lab. You can put there the things that you have learned this week, what are the errors that you encountered, and how you fix it. Okay, so our lab journal, so you should be done with week 1 lab journal should be week 2 lab journal already, because your lab journal for week 1 to 3 should be submitted on 25th of November at 5 p.m. Okay. So if we are aware that not all of us are, free, or we have, every one of us have unique lives. Like we are busy with our studies, um, like we have our own family. So there are any unforeseen circumstances that we cannot submit our lab journal at this date. So I have seen some questions as well raised to me if they can extend, or if they can request for extension. So you go to the assignment to there, and then that, when you browse at the bottom, there is an extension request there. So you can put in what seems to be the problem why you cannot submit it on on this date, and it is subject for approval. Okay, so that will be on 25th of November. So important things to know that we are actually grading you according to what you input there. So it's better to use the journal entry template. There is a template there that you can download. So important things that you need to check. Of course, there is formatting, how well organized your lab journal. And that formatting includes as well the number of words, the number of pages that you have. That should be compliant. So, and also aside from that, you should be able to enter the key concepts, key calculations, configurations, commands, and further studies. Okay, so key calculation, configuration, and commands are just like the steps. You don't have to actually put everything there, all um, the lab steps, but it will be handy as well because you can have your lab journal during your exam, your practical skills exam. So it's better to put it there as well. But there is you don't have to put it like exactly the exact replica of what you have in the lab, because some students, they just copy and paste all the lab commands there and put it there on on their lab journal. So it's not good. So we are actually grading you on these factors: key concepts, key calculations, and further studies. Okay. So when you say key concepts, so it's all about how you, or it's a reflection on how the technology is addressed in the lab. So let's say, for example, you learn the basics of Hyper-V Manager. So um, you're going to check how it is going to be used in a business, or in a certain company or organization, how it can be useful. So that is all about key concepts. Okay, so further study is all about your insights on the lab exercises. So your learning moment, what you have discovered and what you're going to do next time, something like that. Okay, so you are actually graded on these factors. So don't forget that. Okay, I can see Stephen here. So don't forget that. And okay, don't forget the submission date, and do not try to submit an extension request on the day itself. Like it's already past 5, and I think the extension link will not be available anymore. So usually there is an instance that during that date the extension link will not be available anymore. So that's all about the lab journal. Any issues on the week 1 lab as well? So questions as well, if we're going to use our own, or if you're going to install Azure in your own machine. Okay, you can do that. Hold on, let me just check some of the messages here. It might be from Harry. Hold on. Okay. So you can install it, but there are some certain risks. Okay, we cannot guide you through the whole process because we cannot see your own machine. Okay, and there are some possibility that you might erase something in your machine, and yeah, so that's why it's just an optional. So all our labs can be done at our labs.assure.com. This is the website. You just have to go in, and then you can access all the labs. The topology is there. You can access our servers there in different network, Sarawak, Hawthorne. So it should be straightforward. Okay. So if you're using a Mac, you just have to log in using a student profile and then the password. You know how to enter the password there because it will give you an RDP file. You just have to double click it and then enter student as a username, and the password is a password, capital PA55.WRD, and then you will be able to direct you to your Azure. Okay. Okay, so let me stop sharing that. And let's go ahead with our week 2. Let me go and stop sharing this. So our week 2 is all about network addressing. So our objectives for this week, actually this is the week all about subnetting, network addressing, logical address rules and constraints. And a part of our objective this week is to find the different roles of our layer 2 and layer 3 addresses. So what is a layer 2 and what is a layer 3 address? What is a subnet mask? What is an IP address? Why do these devices need to have an IP address? Why it needs a subnet mask? And you will know how to determine the network and the host portion of an IP address. Okay, so these are all here. So weekly summary, the things that you need to do for this week, actually it's here. So try to read this. We're not going to read this one by one during our collaborate session, but you are open to read this topics like the topology, IP addressing and subnetting, and all about the OSI layer. Okay. And then you can try to do self-check to open system interconnection and refresh your learning quiz. So this is just this is not recorded. It's just a practice. Step 3, and we have week 2 lab. So you have to do this week 2 lab. It's not mandatory to do the labs, but this will help you a lot on your practical skills. Step 4, first you need to do your assignment 2 lab journal. This should be week 2 now, as I've said. So as I have said as well, the lab journal will be useful for assignment 3 and assignment 4. Okay. And then participate in your Slack. If you have any questions or if you want to share ideas, you can put it on in the Slack channel. Okay. So this is the learning quiz. I'm not sure how it works on your end, but might see the answers there. So just skip that. Let me share my OneNote. Can you see my OneNote session? Okay, let me try again. Oh, hi, Harry. How are you? Are you ready to, are you going to, I'll just discuss about these topologies and you can actually have them, right? It's okay? Okay, okay. So while Harry is getting ready, let's just discuss about the topologies, okay, used in a real world. Okay, so can you see my OneNote now? Not sure if you can see that. Okay, that's great. So these are the network topologies that is currently being used in a real world scenario, okay, in a certain enterprise or company. So there is a bus topology, there is a ring topology, there is a star topology, and there is fully mesh topology. So as you can see here in the bus topology, it's like they're connected in one node. So they are connected to a single central cable, like a bus or backbone. Okay. So this is simple to set up, require less cabling, but if the central cable fails, the entire network is affected. So performance can be degraded, especially if there is a high traffic. So this is actually used in the early LAN setups. Okay, and then we have the star topology. So as you can see, it looks like a star. So each device is connected to a central hub. This in the center. So it can be a central hub, switch, or router. So this central device manages the data flow. So what can you see here as a disadvantage? So I'll give you the advantage of this topology. It is easy to add or remove devices. If you remove this PC at the top left, you can remove it without disrupting the network. But what do you see as a disadvantage of this star topology? Anyone? Yeah. If the central device corrects, Stephen, if the central device fails, it can disrupt the entire network unless there's redundancy. Okay. So it's like if the central device goes down, the whole network goes down. So this one is a ring topology. So as you can see, it's called ring because it's connected in a circular format. So each device having exactly two neighbors. So for this one, it's simpler to troubleshoot for small networks. So if one device, but the problem here is that it's like if one device or connection fails, it also can disrupt the entire network unless there is redundancy. This one is fully mesh topology. At the you can see this, right? Let me just check my. Okay, so this one is a fully mesh topology. So every device is connected to every other device directly. So as you can see, it's fully redundant, highly resilient, as we can see. So even if several connections fail, communication can still continue using alternative paths. Okay, so, but what can you see? So this one is highly redundant now, but what can you see as a disadvantage of this topology? Anyone? Hard to troubleshoot? Yeah, can be. It's a lot of configuration, taking time, expensive. That's correct. Column and Riley, it's going to be an expensive network. And this is an expensive kind of topology. It's very complex to implement. As you can see, there are a number of connections. It increases exponentially as you add in more devices. So this is just what I call that, a concise way of explaining what are these network topologies. So this one you can see in your in the module. Let me go back here. So this is the topology, okay? So you can read more about this. I just simplify it in the way that you can understand it easier. Okay, so there are other important information that you can try to read here. So that is all about topology. So the next part is all about addressing. So you will definitely learn what is the difference between layer 2 and layer 3 IP address. So when we say layer 2, it's all about the MAC address, which is burn-in on your device, and then layer 3 IP address, which is the unique identifier of your devices. So all devices you needs to have, or all devices need to have an IP address so that they can be identified in the network. Okay. Let me check this one. Okay, so I think Harry will explain this part, subnetting, or yeah, he's ready to overtake at this point.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Do I have voice? I just realized I had a hot mic. So hopefully you didn't hear me coughing or burping or something like that. I went rushed to get some water from the tap. Hopefully you didn't hear all that. I forgot to mute when I Thank you, Kathy. Kathy, I was enjoying myself listening to you. You're more than welcome to do the whole hour if you like. I was enjoying this, so. But no, I'll take over. Yeah, thank you. Sorry,
it's okay, Harry. I'm going. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thanks, Kathy.
We'll talk in the Outlook. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, sorry everyone. I was running a bit late. There was I was at the Cisco Live conference today, and I forgot that I had a class today. So I made it on time. Technically, I made it on time because our class that time is 6:30, but I like to be here by 6, to have a chat to students before the official time. But thanks, Kathy. I really appreciate that. It was a really good discussion. I'm going to take over the screen now. How do I take over? I think I just take over, right? How's everyone?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'll turn it off.
Yes. Thank you, Kathy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know that you've got another class that you're running in about 15 minutes. Is that right?
No, let's just discuss that in the email. I think I have to adjust the time, or maybe the day. Yeah. I'll tell you in the email.
No problem. Awesome. Thanks, Kathy. Appreciate it. Awesome job. Okay, so first thing I just want to change direction just a little bit. I don't know if Kathy mentioned this before I got here, but I had some discussions with regarding the assignment 2. Many of you may be following our discussions in Slack regarding assessment 2. Now, there's a little bit of conflicting information. This is going to get fixed in the next unit, I hope. So apologies for the confusion here. On this section here, it says assignment 2, lab journal instructions. It says where are we? 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 words in addition to graphics. That's for your journal entry. Now, I don't know about you. 1,000 words is a lot. So now, if we go back and we look at this next section here, it says 500 per entry, and I think it was Stephen. I think Stephen, you made me aware of this. Yeah, it was you, Stephen. Thanks. I really appreciate that, Stephen. So I gave an official explanation in Slack, but just in case you've missed it, and you can quote me on this. Officially, it's 1,000 words per journal entry. However, you can write a journal entry at 500 words. You can, if you believe it's sufficient to explain how you went with that journal entry. In other words, 500 is fine. Yeah, between 500 and 1,000. So apologies, right? Well, we're going to fix that. We'll fix that for the next iteration of this class. But does that make sense? Is everyone okay with that? Stephen, if you're here, did you happy with that? Cool. Thank you, Julian. Appreciate it. Thank you. A bit confusing, a little bit confusing, but 500 words. Now, in case you may not have it, yeah, cool, Emma, thanks for that. There is a template that you can select. I just don't know where it is right now, but in a couple of seconds, I'll have it. There we go, right there. Yeah, Cameron, it can include anything that you believe, that you think will describe. This is your journal entry, right? So Cameron, if I said to you, write a journal, and I'm going to tell you what to write in it, like exactly right. So it's not really a journal, but there is a template, and there is things that there's a theme. So this is the theme. So the theme is, and if I bring this up, so the theme is, what are the key concepts? How reflect on how the technology addressed in the lab. So this is talking about the lab can be used to address a business needs of a computer organization. I'll give you a freebie, for example. So say you have DNS server. I'm just picking one out. You know what? I hate DNS. That's caused me so much pain and suffering in the past. I'll talk about DHCP because I love DHCP. You set it once and you forget it. So DHCP, I'll say that in a business, we can deploy thousands and thousands of IP addresses. Oh, tell me about it, Samuel. Oh my God, DNS. I want to strangle DNS. Whoever invented DNS, I'm going to strangle them. But if you get DNS right, by the way, you get it right, it's perfect. It's amazing. But when you get it wrong, that's another issue. But anyway, so DHCP, you deploy thousands of IP addresses in a normal business, so we don't have to configure every single. So you could use that as an example. So here, and this is going to answer your question now, Cameron. Key calculations, configurations, and commands. So there you go, Cameron. That's specifically answered your question there. That you export in the lab activity, and then reflect on the topics you want to revise or study further based on the revision quiz. So you do the quiz, and then based on the feedback, you write here. Now, can I tell you something? I'm going to make a confession. They say confession is good for the soul. For me personally, this one here, this is probably the only one. So I just got to get my Zoom It tool up and running because it's not. I forgot to load it. Because I like to zoom in and do stuff. Hang on, where are you? Zoom It. I think I have to run as administrator. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Okay. All right. So if I zoom in here, and yeah, want to revise or study further, can I tell you that is the story of my life? Do you know how many things I want to revise and study again and go over and over again? Pretty much everything. So I would spend the most time here. But for me, that's how I would focus on. But anyway, so I think that'll get you to 500, but up to 1,000. So just let me reiterate, it's 1,000 words, but if you believe that you can explain at 500 and above, you go for it. That's fine. All right, that's out of the way. I'm loading this. Okay, so now any questions so far? Now, before you ask your questions, before I go into the lab, have I missed anyone? Because the first week, and I've expected it because we've got 140 students. The labs, I knew the labs were going to be fun. I'm going to say fun. I'm not going to say challenging or I'm going to say interesting and fun. But does anyone else have any other difficulty or sorry, any concerns or needs some clarification? Now's the time. Yes, it is, Callum. Yep. Let me show you. That's a good question. A good question. Let's have a look at that. So if I actually I'll jump out of that one. So that's the instructions there, and there is let's go back. So technically it's assignment 2, but it's like 2 assignments really, but it's included in one. So let's have a look at week 1 and 3, and based on your feedback for 1 and 3, you can improve it. You can improve the rest later on. So there is a marking rubric down here. So Kathy and I, we will use this rubric to mark your assessments. Okay, so we actually use this here. Well, I'm hoping that's, hang on a sec, sorry. Maybe this one here. I think, let me go back here. Oops. Well, in the instruct, yeah. I got to go student mode. Yeah, let me do that. Cool. No, what? Not there. No problems. We're going to organize. We'll we'll get back to you on that. Okay? Is that cool? Oh, there it is. There it is. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for pointing that out. Whew. I'm a bit what do you call it? Not stressed. Because I've been running a lot. Okay, here we go. So now, Callum, this is how we will mark it. A bit flustered. Thank you, Zach. That's the word I'm looking for. A bit flustered. I had to run from the train station. So now, this is where we'll mark it. So what will happen is Kathy and I will both read. So Kathy will look after group 4, and I'll do the other groups, and I will read your journal entry, and I'll say, yeah, Callum, his reflections demonstrated deep understanding of the concepts and innovative ways that can be addressed as a business need. So Callum, you would have done an amazing, brilliant job at linking the material and the lab to how you would implement a particular technology in a production environment. In other words, that's just a fancy way of saying that what you learned, when you get a job, you can do it there. Okay. Whereas Callum, on this one, little or no calculations or configurations and commands have been described. So Callum, you need to improve on this. You need to get better. Okay. So we'll use this marking guide. I'm sure you'll do really well. So 1 to 3 is kind of a bit of a practice, and then 1 to 10, that'll contribute to further on that. All right, so that's that. So 1 to 3 is about 3%. So look, it's not the end of the world if you don't quite get there, but it's good practice. And 1 to 10 works out to be about 7 points. So both of them together, 10%. So you know what? 10% is 10% altogether. All right, now that I've settled down a bit, Any other questions? Any other concerns or issues? Is everyone's labs okay? I'm really sorry about the issue regarding where, it's got running here and it's got starting and it takes ages. It happened to me too, if you can believe it. It actually happened to me as an instructor and I had to reset myself. So remember, it's not Kathy or my fault. We're not, okay? Not our fault. But now that reminds me, regarding this issue, let me put it back into Leave Student View. The issue in regards to here, let me show you. Go over here. These links not working. The same thing's happening to me. Access denied. I've just got a response back. I've got a confirmation that the support team have my the ticket that's raised, and they will, they'll do their thing 24 to 48 hours. So we'll try and get that out to you. I actually don't have a copy of week 2, but I think Kathy's told me how to do that because I think there might be a special place for us. If I can get it, I'll zip it up and I'll give it to everyone in the Slack chat room. I don't know, Stephen, were they? Network topology, that one was, yeah. If I go back to modules, here, let's have a look. Just look at titles, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right there. But these ones, yeah, you're right, Stephen. Good pickup. Good pickup. So you have them already. So that's something to work on. Cool. All right, team TNE 10005. I think I put one too many in there. Let's get the lab going. Any Mac users having problems? Do you know that I own and love a MacBook Air. It's got an M3 series chip. Absolutely love it, but it is so frustrating when it comes to virtual machines and RDP. It's driving me absolutely up the wall. I just can't get anything like virtual machines. I can't run these labs on that on the MacBook, right? It just, there's workarounds. There's I'm sure smarter and more clever people can figure it out, but I just can't seem to get it working on the Mac. So even for when I'm working my 9-to-5 job, even at the Cisco Live conference, you had these Americans. They love their Macs there, and they've got they can't run their virtual machines either on Mac. So, but with this RDP, there is a way that you can run this RDP. Let me know and I'll show you how to do that. I finally worked that out. There's apparently Microsoft has developed a new tool. It used to be Microsoft RDP, but I think they call it RDP. Sorry, it's called Windows App from now on. It's called Windows App, and you go to the Apple Store and you download it, and that's the new tool to run these on a Mac. Again, I love Macs. They're brilliant. The M series chip, the M4 Pro chip that's come out, that's blowing all other CPUs out of the water. That's one serious machine there. But we just can't use it for virtual machines, unfortunately. And you can't play games. I mean, that's the real reason why we have computers, right? Really, yeah. No, it's doing this, Stephen. It's just connecting. Yeah. But maybe you're right. Maybe it is it's stuck here. Yep. Yeah, you're right, Julian. You have to, even though Mac's making inroads, you need a PC. You need a custom built PC. You need the latest NVIDIA 40,000. Oh, hang on. The computer cannot connect to a remote computer. Have I got a VPN on? I've got a VPN on. All right, I'm going to take my VPN off. I got my, here, I'll show you. I had that on. That could be an issue. And yes, I know Kaspersky